This week on the Baseline Podcast, Josh and I are joined by my brother Jared. Yes, we welcome Jared back, and we are talking about the NBA Finals. We're recapping what an amazing series it was. We talk about the Warriors dynasty. We talk about how the Celtics pretty much collapsed. And then we talk about the Stanley Cup. We talk about how the Avalanche are dominating this series, how it could be a 4-game sweep. And then we talk about soccer. Yes, we talk about soccer with Jared, which is the sport that Jared loves. And we talk about all the World Cup matchups. We talk about how Hungary beat England and how England looks just so bad heading into the World Cup. And then we finish up by talking about golf and the LIV. All that and so much more coming up on the Baseline Podcast. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Podcast. Not only do we have Josh, you have myself, Ben, and then you also, my brother. We decided, Josh and I thought, we're so compassionate and we're so loving that we said, you know what, we're gonna let Jared just come join the party, right, Josh? Is that what we decided? I guess
that's definitely what it is. It's not Ben having an audition to see who's going to be his real partner from here on out.
Yeah.
No, it's not a competition at all. But I hope everyone's had a great weekend. We're recording this on Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Dad, we know you're sleeping right now, so as you're watching this, we know that you're sleeping when we recorded. So happy Father's Day, Dad. Josh, would you like to say anything to your dad real quick?
Yeah, I'm sure you guys can relate to this. I've learned a lot from my dad over the years, a lot of good values like hard work. And I wish I could be with them. They're over in Ohio. I'm in Indiana, but I did get to see him last week and visit with him a little bit. So yes, happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Yeah, it's a good time. I think some of the best father-son duos in sports history is what? Del Curry, Steph Curry. We got King Griffey Jr. Yeah, King Griffey Sr., Jr. Let's see. We got a lot of it.
Fielder.
Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, there's a lot of
Senior, Vlad Jr.
Dude, Josh is just like. By the way, do you want to share Josh?
Hart, Senior and Junior.
Josh, do you want to share that that stat you shared on the Baseline Podcast Instagram about Vlad Senior and Vlad Jr. like through the plate appearances? I believe
yeah, they had the same amount. Was it home runs, on base percentage, and OPS? I think.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Yeah,
it was weird. It's kind of creepy.
There were 3 normal stats, but also kind of like not the mainstream like home runs, RBIs, batting average, like you would think. But I think it was home runs, OPS, and on base percentage, if I remember right.
Kind of crazy, but I guess fathers and sons, they just know how to do it. But anyways, yeah, happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And also, like I just mentioned, you can find us on Instagram at the baseline.podcast on Instagram. And yeah, just have fun with it. Go check us out. We're always posting stories. You can actually see our highlights. You can hear Josh's favorite things, which is kind of cool. I'm going to be doing mine here coming up as well. So, Josh, we've had a few crazy events been happening here lately. Josh, why don't you lead into this? Unfortunately for us Cavaliers fans, our hearts have just been more sunken in to by just the devastating thing that happened in the finals. So go ahead and start us off.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked that Boston kind of just lost it the way they did on their home court. Jason Tatum, I think, shot 33%, had 13 points. Golden State, meanwhile, Curry comes in with 34 to lead the way. Draymond Green offensively scores in double digits.
He actually scored.
Yeah, so I am surprised. I think at one point, too, I think Boston was trailing by like 20 in the third quarter, and it was just like, wow, man. Like, I expected Boston to, I guess, put up a better fight than that. Like, I didn't watch the game, so I have no idea if this was the case, but it seemed to me like Boston just kind of quit, or maybe their inexperience in the finals just showed because they are younger. And we've been talking about Golden State's experience being a huge advantage to them. Boston had this, what was it, 2-1, and then they lost. They lost the next 3. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
It is interesting, and I almost wonder, it's like Curry was kind of irritated by everyone all season saying that the Warriors dynasty was over. Stephen A is about the only one, which just drives me insane that he was right, because it's just annoying when he's right.
Finally,
all
right.
Season, he is just chanting that, and Kendrick Perkins and all these guys kept saying they're going to win no more in the next 4 years and all these different things. And I think it just goes to show that how good really the Warriors team really is. Like, they're coached well. They have some great players. Like, as much as I don't like the Warriors, you can't not acknowledge what they're doing. It's just funny that, the Lakers were supposed to be the team the last 2 years, and they've shown up to be nothing but trash. So the Warriors doing some crazy things. Jared, what are your thoughts on this in this crazy game of basketball?
Yeah, well, I think last time when it was just me and you, Ben, I think I said like the Heat or something we're gonna go. Completely wrong about that. But then I also said if whoever wins, I think they can beat the Warriors. And they were up 2-1. I was like, yes, all right, the Warriors are actually gonna lose. Let's go. They're gonna lose in the NBA Finals. But they did the Warrior thing and just shot incredibly and came back. And I think you're right. Like the veteran leadership. I mean, the big three that they have, Draymond, Clay, and Steph. Like people said, like when they're on the court, they can't lose. I mean, it was the first time they're all three on the court in the playoffs in 3 years or something like that.
Probably since the Raptors finals.
Yeah. So since Clay came back, so it's like, I mean, it was almost destined when Clay came back that they were going to win the title. I mean, when Clay came back and then it was all three of them back together, I was like, I don't think anybody's going to beat them, even if they don't have the best record. It's just too good. It's dumb, but whatever.
So the question is, Josh, for you, do you feel like this is do you feel like they can keep this going? Do you think they add to this? Do they go out and grab somebody? Like, what do you think the Warriors do or need to do in order to keep this going? Because, I mean, their money keeps going higher and higher. They're going to get to a point where they have to shed off something, or Curry's going to have to go out from $45 million he's making a year to something. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think off the bat already, Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins have said they want to stay with Golden State. Now, we've seen guys say that they want to stay with their team, but that usually means if they're going to pay me $40 million.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see how true that is when that time comes. But you're absolutely right. The salaries are going to probably play a role in, just as they do with any other NBA team, with how they're going to be able to keep everybody together. You also got to think of the other teams in the West. Like, it's cool that the Lakers and the Clippers both missed out this year, but I think the Clippers more likely get in the playoffs next year, just because a healthy Paul George and a healthy Kawhi Leonard still could be scary.
The Mavs.
The Mavs are on the rise too.
Nuggets.
You got to worry about the Nuggets. You got to worry about the Suns, I think, too, still. Even though they've kind of choked things away the last couple of years.
I mean, according to Patrick Beverley, they're done. According to Patrick Beverley.
I think their team, with the exception of Chris Paul, is just too young to be done.
I know.
Yeah.
So we know how tough the West is. That's basically been the way it is every year. So it's never an easy road. So money and competition, I think, is going to ultimately determine if they can get back again.
I'm going to throw this out there for you, Josh and Jared. What is your way too early finals matchup for next year? I have to. It's just like a common thing on the show that we do way too early, and then we're completely wrong.
But it's tough to do because there's so many things that could happen this off season and with the draft. And I mean, we're going to be looking at like a completely different NBA by the end of the summer, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about our NFL draft predictions and how much
they were so bad.
Trades went down, and from our first to the second, it was just like, are we even like doing the same year here? Like,
I will say that I'm going to just throw this out here now. The Cavaliers, I'm putting them in there. That's my finals pick for next year, at least to make the finals. Jared, do you have at least one team, Jared, where you're like, you know what, that's a team I want to throw in there?
The Suns, man. Chris Paul is begging for that ring, and this year was probably his best year, honestly. Which I was shocked when they did lose, because I had the Suns at the beginning of the playoffs. I was like, Suns going all the way. Like, I saw that team play; it was like insane. So I think CP3, before he retires, he wants a ring, and this Suns team is his best chance to get a ring because they're insane. And with CP3 on the court,
and a healthy Devin Booker.
And DeAndre
Ayton.
They have good coach.
Michael Bridges, Cam Johnson. Yeah, it's a loaded team, and they're all young.
And they could even sign a good veteran in the offseason, because I'm pretty sure they have at least a decent amount of cap. I know Chris Paul is a lot, but I think they could sign like a good veteran to even get him a little bit more of a boost in the playoffs come playoff time, because it was an insane team during the regular season.
So what about you, Josh? Do you have at least one team that you're like, you know what, I have a pretty strong feeling that they're at least going to be there contending for that finals appearance?
Yeah. I really think Milwaukee would have been in had it not been for Chris Middleton's injury.
Yeah.
So if I was confident in anybody being in the finals next year, it would be more so in Milwaukee to be back than Boston to, I guess, make a return again. So Milwaukee out of the East. I'm out of the West. I just don't know.
Yeah, and I think also it's interesting to hear about the Warriors. They're getting Kenny Atkinson back, which was very interesting move today, where he decided not to become the Hornets head coach.
Oh, yeah.
And decided to stay on, which I think shows, one, the chemistry that he has there, but also there must be something going on with the Hornets that no one wants to talk about because they have a lot of talent and you don't want to coach that. It's very interesting to me. So
it could be that, or maybe just the finals, and he feels like he could stay there another year and get another ring before, you know what I mean? Like
that's a very good choice. Yeah.
I don't know how many assistants we see do that, but I really think it has to be just confidence that Golden State's run isn't over yet.
Yeah, I mean, because they are losing. I know they're losing Mike Brown, right? The former Cavs coach. He's going to the Kings. Yep. So he's leaving the Warriors staff to join. So I think that's also another thing. He gets promoted inside the staff, which is good too. The finals, crazy finals. Again, disappointed in the Celtics, but I'm not shocked. They're the Boston Celtics. Sorry, I said that. No, I'm not. And anyways, we are moving from the finals to another finals matchup. Only we call this Stanley Cup in the NHL, which Jared and Josh are way more knowledgeable than me on this. And Jared is super addicted to NHL. So I'm going to throw it over to both of you. So Josh, you could start with it and I'll throw in my tidbits, but you two go ahead and talk about the finals and the Stanley Cup finals and tell me what you think, what's going on.
Ben, Colorado is fast. Like this is the first time I've seen Colorado play all season on TV, or whether in person or on TV. And this team is fast. They've gotten off 3 goals in the first period of both of these games, and Tampa Bay had to play catch up in game 1. And then in game 2, they just kind of I don't know if gave up is the right word, but they looked over.
They got beat. They got beat.
They got destroyed. Colorado got 6 shots off before Tampa Bay could even get 1 off. And we talked about how Colorado's offense, how good it is. And that speed just translates on offense and defense, but Vasilevsky's getting his butt kicked right now.
That was your
key. Be the X factor.
That was your key.
Yeah.
That was your key.
It was, but I think he's even playing below his standards to an extent, because his save percentage game 1 was 89%, which you say, okay, it's respectable. And then game 2, it was like 76%. So it was just like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. And on the other end, Darcy Kemper, he's not the greatest goalkeeper. Definitely overmatched with Vasilevsky's talent, but Colorado's not really allowing any shots to get off to begin with. The speed's, like I said, it's working on defense. It's limiting Tampa Bay shots, and it's kind of translating to points on the other end too, which maybe we shouldn't be so surprised, because that's kind of how Colorado was able to sweep Edmonton as well. So
yeah,
I don't know. Those are kind of my thoughts. Jared, what are you seeing out there on the ice?
Yeah, I called it when it was just me and Ben, and we were talking about, because Colorado's already in. We were talking about Eastern Conference Finals, and I think Rangers were up like 2-0.
Right. Yeah, they got the 2-0 lead too.
And I said, Ben, never count out Tampa. Like, Tampa Bay is insane. For them to go down 2-0 and then go to New York and then just end up winning 4 straight against New York, which New York was a really good team. They're not a bad team. And then I saw it was going to be Tampa Bay and Colorado, which I think, even though everybody wants Colorado to win, I think everybody wanted to see Tampa Bay versus Colorado, just because Tampa Bay is just insane. And then I watched Colorado a little bit during that Edmonton. I didn't watch the games, but I watched some highlights, and I was like, I don't think anybody can beat this team. They are something else. I've never witnessed an NHL team like Colorado. You think about up front, they have Burakovsky, who, by the way, is hurt and is not traveling to Tampa Bay, so that's going to hurt Avalanche. They have, Burakovsky, McKinnon, Kadri, and then they also have but defense, I think their key factor is Cale Makar. That kid is insane. He's easily, if not the best defender in the defenseman in the NHL. And I think I honestly would not be surprised, even though they're not going to have Burakovsky, I would not be surprised if Colorado sweeps Tampa Bay.
I'm wondering that too.
Even though it is in Tampa Bay, it's just there's something about this Colorado team. Like, they are hungry for a Stanley Cup. They haven't won it since 20 20 years ago when they last went to it. So I think, I mean, they're hungry. They have huge fan support. I mean, everybody in the U.S. wants them to win. So I think, I don't know. So I didn't watch any of the game with they won 7-0. But when I saw that score, I was like how does Tampa Bay come back from that? I mean, you just lost game 2 of the Stanley Cup. You're down 2-0, and you just lost 7-0.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay usually puts up pretty good goals. You know, they have Kucherov, you know, and like you said, Vasilevsky, easily the best
points back.
Oh yeah,
with the team too.
Easily the best goaltender in the NHL, and he just got his butt rocked, like big time. And it's at that point, it's like, what can Tampa Bay even do anything to like? I mean, yeah, sure they could maybe win one game, but I really would be super shocked. I would be shocked if Colorado ends up losing this series and not winning the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
it is a different team, and being an NHL guy, I was like I said, I've never seen like the speed of Colorado, and then just the overall talent like everywhere. Like it's just not one-sided. Like overall talent everywhere. I'm just like, I am astonished at how good this team is, and I really don't think they're gonna lose this Stanley Cup. I just don't think there's a way.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things that I jotted down here. I think during the game they said Colorado was 13-2 in their first 15 games. The last 4 teams to do that have gone on to win the Stanley Cup. Mm-hmm. Also, this postseason run, Colorado has not lost on the road yet, and they got to go to Tampa these next 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of an opportunity for Tampa Bay, you would say, to get back on its feet here. And, I mean, they were down 2-0
That's
after
the thing.
that Rangers series.
Yeah.
On the road, they go back to Tampa Bay. They get back on
Josh and I have been wrong every time we talk about the Lightning. Every time we're like, you know what, this is probably the chance where they'll probably lose, and then we're wrong every single time. So I'm like,
I'm one of the few that's actually pulling for Tampa Bay here because
you just want to be right. That's why. You just want to be right. That's why. It's not that you want to like anything. You just want to be right.
I picked Colorado to win this cup, Ben, but I'm rooting for Tampa Bay.
Well, that's just weird, dude. You're just going. This is weird.
I didn't think it'd be in 4 games, which is what I would change my pick to right now, but I would like to be right. So
we all know that
6 games.
When we did our NHL playoff preview a few weeks ago, I'm the one that said Colorado Avalanche all the way, going to win it. I said that. I'm sticking by it. Won't change. Wasn't going to change. And I just don't like to see three-peats. As you, all 3 of us being Cavs fans, we don't like seeing three-peats. So there was a 2-peat in the Warriors. We rooted that they would lose. They lost. So for me, it's like, I don't want to see a 3-peat. It gives me bad flashbacks to already back-to-backs. It's just a bad thing. So
I think with me, I'm just not as strong of an NHL fan just yet, that I don't have any team that I really hate yet.
That is true. Yeah.
I hate the Lightning. I hate the Lightning. Oh, they can get swept. I would love it if they got swept.
Oh, Jared.
Base. Oh my gosh.
Oh. Jared is such a that's just funny to me. So yeah, it's interesting to see because, you know, obviously, you know, Jared and I are Blue Jackets fans, and also like the way, you know, like Patrick Laine, which is a guy that it's kind of a guy that, you know, you look at and you almost like, you know, he seemed like he would fit in a series like this, like a guy that can just go out and dominate. And it's really cool to see the Avalanche, right? Like, and also I think Josh said something about did you say last week that it's like the first time that it's between 2 teams that don't end with S? Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
In any of the professional sports leagues in America, like the 4 major ones, first time.
That is quite fascinating.
But then I told you the only other league it could actually happen in is the NBA. So,
okay, but we don't talk about that when we put it on the news. Remember, Josh, news is supposed to be somewhat true, not completely true, somewhat true. And that's my political joke for the day. And so it is fascinating. You look at all this, and I wonder too, does Tampa Bay, like, Josh, if you're in, or Jared, either you can answer this. If you're in Tampa Bay's shoes, what do you have to do in this next game? Like, it's a must win. We all agree. I think this is a must win game. This next game, you can't go down 3-0. Mm-hmm. So what has to be done in order to overcome this feat here?
I'll go first. The thing that they've been overmatched on is the speed, and I think they're definitely not going to be able to match Colorado's speed. So I don't know how you neutralize that other than I don't know if just playing more physically could maybe even the playing field a bit more. I don't really know what Tampa Bay can do, I guess, to offset that speed, or I guess just be more accurate with their shots. Like, what do you do in that situation when speed is like just you're so overly matched in that?
Yeah. I was kind of thinking along the same lines, like try to slow it down, but in hockey that can be
very hard.
I say that from a soccer standpoint, because soccer it's a lot easier to slow it down than in hockey. But I think also, even though Vasilevsky got rocked 7-0, I still think you have to rely. I mean, it's terrible to always rely on your goaltender, but at this point, if they can't slow him down, they almost have to rely on Vasilevsky to stop shots and maybe win faceoffs. I think they need to really win faceoffs. Like faceoffs could probably be the key to winning a game, because faceoffs are a lot of times huge in the NHL. So I think winning faceoffs and then relying, even though he did get rocked, still relying on Vasilevsky to do the job. Because I mean, I think that's how they came back against the Rangers and won, that series for the next 4 games, is because, I mean, Vasilevsky was insane. So I think honestly that's almost the game plan, is win faceoffs, rely on Vasilevsky, and try to slow it down if you can. And if you can't, I don't know what they do if they can't slow down Colorado. So
yeah.
I think Vasilevsky and faceoffs are going to be the big ones, and then maybe, like you said, more accurate shots. But I think
Jared,
there's only so much you can do.
Jared, you said something very interesting. It's like it's hate to rely on your goalie. It's like Michigan relying on Jim Harbaugh to be a good coach.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well,
it was.
He's actually a good goalie, Ben.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I forgot. Right. Oh,
that is a good point.
Oh no, I didn't. Oh, jeez. Forgot. I could have went another way, but I felt that was way too political, the route I was going to go. But I think Josh can tell you where I was going to go with that one.
I do have one question before I guess we wrap this up that Jared might be able to answer.
Yeah.
Do you remember game 1 when Colorado got that 5-on-3 situation? And I mean, without that, I mean, Tampa Bay could have come back and won 3-2. Now, it was kind of controversial. I think some people are saying that there might have been offsides, so it shouldn't have been a penalty. What did you see? Because I am not knowledgeable enough to know what the call should have been.
Yeah, I saw that too. I think I saw the highlights, so I couldn't really tell what it was. But I mean, in my opinion, since it was like a game clinching, quote unquote, type of deal, I think I don't know. I think it would have been controversial either way. So like, I don't know if they could have done anything different than how they called it. But I didn't think it was offsides. I mean,
it's kind of like, if you think about it, it's almost like the Ohio State Michigan game when Barrett was supposedly, according to Harbaugh, not over the line, but it was like one of those, like, either way. Yeah. One team's going to be mad. The other team's going to be mad.
At this point, I think it was second period and Colorado was up 2-1. And then this put them like in the 5-on-3 power play, which is like, okay, you're not going to not score 5-on-3. And they ended up scoring. It was 3-1. And then Tampa Bay scored 2 more goals over the next 2 periods to send it to overtime. So you got to think, like, if they don't get that goal, maybe Tampa Bay, they're going back home 1-1 right now.
Yeah. And it's a totally different story. And then it's a totally different story. And it's a totally different series, which is very fascinating to me. But yeah, it's gonna be a good series. I think when is game 3? Game 3 on Monday?
I think it's Monday. Yeah.
So technically, when this comes out, or like when you're listening to this, it's already happened or it's happening. So
it'll be Monday.
Yeah. So game 3 is gonna be happening while you're listening to this. So we'll see what happens. We'll probably have a recap. Maybe we'll have Josh and I will have a Stanley Cup Finals recap next week. Who knows?
Could happen.
It could happen. So that is what we got for NHL. But now we're moving on to the real reason, the only reason Jared's on the show today. And that is to talk about the sport that neither Josh or I have any clue, truly, other than like Hungarian soccer for me, about the world soccer field, I should say. So the World Cup is coming up, which is weird, because I think it's the first time ever is it true? The first time ever?
I believe so.
That it's happening in November and December, which is great for me.
It's summer.
It's great for me because I'm in Hungary, which means I can actually watch the games at a normal time, whereas everyone else has to watch them at a weird time.
Yeah.
But no, it's going to be an amazing event and everything like that. But before we talk about the World Cup, Jared, I want you to talk about, and I know Josh had also, before we even recorded, he said in the text we were talking about Hungary and England. So, Jared, I want to hear your thoughts on the nation's group stage. First off, the fact that Hungary was put in the group of death, as Jared and I, we've talked about, they're in the group of death, and they right now are sitting number 1 ahead of Germany, Italy, England. Give me your thoughts.
I am in shock. Like when I saw that the other day and I saw Hungary had won 4-0, I was in utter shock. Like the fact that Hungary is probably with 3 of the best European teams, easily 3 top 5 European teams. And they are out on top. And like Hungary didn't even qualify for the World Cup, and well, Italy didn't either, but that Germany, England have, and then just to see Hungary absolutely, and 4-0 in soccer, that's a demolish.
And
like,
at England too, not
yes,
at home.
that is getting wrecked. And so for them to just go to England and just act like they just played some nobody like Luxembourg or something like that, I mean, for me, like seeing that is good sign for the U.S. because one, I mean, I think the U.S. No offense to Hungary, but I think the U.S. can beat Hungary with the team now. I think we can. And then to see Hungary beat England 4-0, like during the summer before a World Cup, that could like really hurt England, which makes it U.S. even have a better chance. I think if we can see how, well, maybe not how weak. I mean, and England could improve by then, but like seeing more of the weaker side to England, and then like going off that, and then being able to beat them in the World Cup, and then coming out on top on the group stage. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I was like,
and it's great. It's great. And that's what makes soccer great. And it's great for the world of soccer to see a team like that go out and try on somebody. Josh, do you have any questions for either my side or the Hungarian side, or for Jared in general about the matchups itself, about Hungary and England and those games?
I mean, was that like Hungary's Super Bowl? Like what was, I guess, the reaction maybe at school the next day? Like,
yeah, that it is fascinating, right? Because so when they beat England the first time, it was huge. And I had told you that it was kind of like this big, like, this is awesome, but it was at home, right? And there was the same time when they were calling the little kids basically like they were like racist or whatever, which was wrong, but it was just a weird situation. But England loses. We're like, okay, that's awesome. We got one. It was at home though. So we're like, okay, it's a little different. We go then and get beat by Italy, which was expected. It was at Italy, expected. Then Germany, we tie. And it's like, oh, this is awesome. It was at home. We tie them. Like, this is so cool. We're like going to not get relegated. Like, that's basically what Hungary's been playing for. If you ask any Hungarian, they're like, just don't get relegated. Just somehow stay up. I don't know how, but we're just going to stay up. And then this game came, and it was on a lot of the bars. You walk around Budapest, and it was on every bar. And it was like the game everyone wanted to watch. And I remember waking up the next morning, and I go to school, and I'm like, I look at the score. I'm like, it's 4-0. We just won 4, and like every kid was just excited. Every Hungarian kid, every Hungarian teen walking on the bus was wearing their jersey, wearing their, like, this was amazing because they called us so many bad names. They called our country so many ridiculous things because of what kids did, or because of what they think we represent, because of our values that we represent. And that has no place in football. That has no place. It's just about the game. And to see Hungary go out and just kick your butt, and then they're getting booed for beating you, it was just an amazing feeling. It's like saying, hey, it's David versus Goliath, and David took 37 stones and just shattered you. Like, that's what it was like. And it's going to resonate with these Hungarians for a while. And it's the first time we beat England. When it was 1-0, it was the first time we beat them since the 60s. This is the first time England's been destroyed like this since the 60s. And so it's a great feeling. It sucks that we're not in the World Cup, obviously, but it gives us a great jump start, because I'll tell you, Hungarian soccer is growing and Hungarian soccer is getting good. And I'm just telling people, I've told this people for a few years now, get ready, because Szoboszlai is only 21 or 22. He's young. You have a lot of young guys coming up, and I think it's going to be a really scary thing. So to answer your question, Josh, yes, it was basically the Super Bowl. It's a great feeling. We're at the top of the table. You can end it now. Just let's not play the games in November and October and September. Let's call it. We'll take it.
Yeah. It is kind of interesting. I mean, we've talked about it with when Rebecca came on about just how big soccer is like over there compared to the United States. Like, I don't know too many people that are excited about the United States being in the World Cup, maybe outside of you and Jared here. I don't really know that many, but United States had a 1-1 draw with El Salvador, which I thought was kind of odd. I thought that was a team that they were supposed to maybe not obliterate 4-0, but definitely not like draw or lose to. Did you get to watch any of that game, Jared, or what was maybe an equalizer there for El Salvador?
Yeah, so I wasn't able to watch it. I saw some highlights, and I think well, a big factor, definitely, I'm not making this an excuse, but a big factor for a 1-1 draw to El Salvador. One, it was in El Salvador, and two, it was very rainy and muddy. And I think that played a big factor into how we ran our game. Also, I think they used, I believe Berhalter, the United States manager, I think he used this game to test some waters with a couple of players to see if they would
make the World Cup,
making the World Cup roster. So like you saw some of the guys who were there, like Pulisic still played, McKennie, all of them, and Jordan Morris. But I think a lot of it was to see, just because with the Nations League, I mean, and you saw the last game who we played. I mean, we absolutely demolished them. Like, what was it, like 5-0 or something like that? And Jesus Ferreira, I think he just won at least an option, easily now an option for the number 9 striker position for the U.S. come World Cup time. But I think I was shocked when we tied 1-1. I was like, oh well, that does not look good after winning the last couple games like very well. But like I said, the rain and the muddy that did not help. And then also I do think it was like testing some players to see if they are World Cup roster ready, or if they would fit in with the World Cup roster. So I didn't think we had a full force team out there anyway. I think the reason is because we played El Salvador. But I'm still not concerned, even though we drawed 1-1. I mean, it happens. So I'm not concerned, but there's a little bit of me that's like, ooh, okay, well, hopefully it is just because we're testing the World Cup roster players. But I think a big factor was the rain and the mud. It just didn't help moving the ball and being it slippery and sliding. And we did play with a man down for a little bit of the game because I can't remember who it was. I think it was Roldan got a red card. So which was a foul that shouldn't have been a red card, but they called it anyway. So that didn't help either. You can never win when you have a man down. So
yeah, I think I saw a college football page. I mean, that field definitely was a little rough. Some college football page that I follow on Twitter said, or tweeted a picture of the field and said it looked like what was it? Northwestern Iowa just finished playing 40 football or something in between the hashes. It's like, oh yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. We do know where all the World Cup games are going to be in 2026 now, though. Are you a little bummed that Columbus didn't get picked, and will you try to go to one of these games?
Yeah, so it was, I believe Cincinnati was actually the city in Ohio that was
up true, yeah.
Paul Brown Stadium. But I was bummed. I didn't think they'd actually get picked just because
it's Cincinnati.
Ohio, which because I think Paul Brown had to do like I think it was either $1 million or $2 million in renovations to get ready, which Cincinnati actually approved, and the owners of the Bengals were like, yeah, we'll do it for the money to get the World Cup in Cincinnati, which I am really bummed, but I am definitely going to travel somewhere to catch a game. Like this is like almost once.
There's one in Nashville, right? They're playing it. Are they playing it now? No,
I don't think the closest to Ohio from where we're at
Kansas
is
City,
Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah,
I knew Nashville was up. I knew Nashville was up for it, but I knew they didn't get it.
So I think I'm definitely gonna try. This is like almost like a once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean,
it really is with how often the World Cup goes around, and it's like global. Like think about the last time the Olympics were in the United States. Even.
That is true.
And like it would just be awesome.
And even like this year with it being in Qatar, there's actually the 5th grade teacher next year. That's gonna be the 5th grade teacher. She, her and her husband, Peru didn't make it, which is really funny because they're Peruvian. He's Peruvian, but they got tickets anyways to go to the World Cup in Qatar. And I'm like, man, I should have booked some to go.
I would.
But
the dream come true.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, it's cool to see it coming to Mexico, to Canada, to the US, to finally bring it to North America, where I feel like it's growing.
North America, not just the States.
Yeah, where it's growing and it's where it's thriving, right? Like I think it's really cool to see. And the youth setup is growing in all those countries, which is really awesome. Now, Jared, we have the World Cup groups official now. We have the World Cup groups. I will go through them real quick. We have Group A. So Josh, be picking out some teams out of this. I know you totally know all these teams and how good they are. So in Group A, we have Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, Netherlands. I believe something's up with Ecuador, though. We'll get to that in a second. There's something up with that, supposedly. Group B is a good one. England, Iran, USA, Wales. Group C is Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Poland. Group D is France, Australia, Denmark, Tunisia. Group E is Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, Japan. Group F is Belgium, Canada, Morocco, Croatia. Group G is Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. And Group H is Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. I can already tell you Qatar's winning it all. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So we'll go through that. I know briefly we're going to talk about Ecuador. I know Ecuador is up with Jared. Is it something about they're going to be swapped out because of an illegal player or something like that?
I think FIFA's still like investigating or something.
Okay.
Some player who wasn't dual nationality played for Ecuador and he shouldn't have.
South America. You got to love South America.
So you might swap him out with Chile, which Chile, I'm pretty sure wasn't like even in the playoff, which I think they should have done Peru.
It'll probably Peru. Yeah. It'll probably be in Peru.
No, well, they said Chile. Like they're
that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I think they go with like the highest ranked FIFA ranking.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each group here and you're going to choose the two teams. Two teams go through each group. We're going to pick our teams through each group. And then at the end, we'll just choose one team that we think will be winning it all. And I know Josh is going to love this because he's going to be like, ooh, that's cool colors. I'm kidding, Josh. I'm just making fun of you.
Now I'm looking up where all the best players are from.
There you go. That's how you do it.
Like, okay, Ronaldo, I believe, is Portuguese. But...
yeah.
That's so funny. That is so funny. Okay. So, Jared, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
In Group A, who do you got going through in Group A? Who do you think is going to come out of there?
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be Netherlands and Senegal with that group, even with Chile replacing Ecuador.
Not Qatar? Not even Qatar get through it? No? Okay.
No. Senegal, I mean, you got Sadio Mane, super fast. You have some other good players on Senegal. Netherlands, it's the Netherlands. They're done. So I don't see – I'd be shocked if those two don't get out. It is World Cup. We have seen some strange group stages.
That's true. I mean, according to Jared, he plays the World Cup game on Xbox, and he just dominates. I am going to choose as well Netherlands and Senegal. I originally was going to go Ecuador, Netherlands, but then when Ecuador thing all kind of went out, I decided to go Senegal, Netherlands. Mm-hmm. Josh, throw me out there. Who you got coming out of that group A?
Can you tell me all the teams again?
We got Netherlands, Senegal, Chile, and then Qatar.
Let's go with the home team, Qatar, I guess. I don't know how important home field advantage is.
It can be very vital. So
and then one other one. So you got to go two that go through. Qatar and
Chile.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just Qatar and Chile.
And
I love
it definitely could happen because I've seen South American groups.
No. That is true. It is a South American country. All right. The next one, I think Josh might have at least get one of these teams right. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So Josh, we're going to start with you this time. Group B is England, Iran, USA, and Wales. Who do you got going through?
I'm going to go with United States.
Oh, that's a good one. And who was the other one?
In England.
Oh, okay. There we go. Jared, what about you?
So obviously USA. I mean, I think I have USA as one of the Cinderella teams.
Oh my goodness!
I've seen this team play and big time games. I am just saying, semifinals is a real possibility. And then, see, I do want to go England. However, after seeing them play Hungary, and that was a full strength England team.
Yeah, it was. That was a full strength England team.
And I saw Wales. I didn't see Wales play, but I saw highlights, and then Wales, the scores against Ukraine and and so I and Gareth Bale, I mean, his only World Cup, it will be his only World Cup. Wales hasn't made the World Cup since I think it was 58 or something like that.
Wow.
Like 60 some years or close to 60 some years. So I think it's going to be USA, Wales. Wales is my underdog.
Oh,
I think USA, Wales, England. England is gonna have a tough time because one, they play USA on Black Friday, so USA is gonna win that. And then I'm just saying, I know this is a long shot, and it probably is not gonna happen. It's probably gonna be USA, England. I'm gonna go with USA, Wales. One, I do want Wales to make it through, just because first World Cup's in 1958.
That would be fantastic.
USA, Wales.
I'm going. Okay.
Welsh, baby.
Okay. I want everyone listening to just know that this is like, it's kind of a joke. So please don't take it too seriously. I'm going USA. And then I just think for reasons outside of soccer, Iran. USA and Iran going through.
I knew you were going to say that.
Just that's all I want to say. I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to keep moving. So I'm going to, also the other reason is too with that is Wales has been struggling a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. And England, because Hungary beat them, I just think they're going to finish last in the group, and I just want them to finish last in the group. So I think Iran will just be the one that sneaks by and says, "Hey, how you doing?" So there's Group B. Group C, I want to start with this one. I've got Argentina because Messi, obviously, and then I have Poland. I have Argentina, Poland coming out of this group. I think Lewandowski, I can't say the name. Anyways, he's really good, and I think they're going to sneak through. So who you got, Jared?
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you, Ben. I think Argentina, Poland, Mexico's good. However, they did not do too good in the qualifying, which concerned me actually. I mean, they US beat them 2-0, I think, and then we did tie them the second time, but I was in Mexico. And I just think by the time World Cup comes around, Poland, Lewandowski, and then Argentina. They should Argentina should win every game. This is Argentina. So yeah, I'm going to go Argentina, Poland.
Josh?
Argentina, Poland, Mexico, and who's the fourth team?
Saudi Arabia.
All right, I'm going to stick with you guys then. Argentina, you got to go with Messi. Can't count that dude out.
Oh, of course.
And I think I'm going to go ahead and make it unanimous with the Poland.
Oh, all right. The Poles are going through. Group D is France, Australia, Denmark, Tunisia. I'm going France for sure. That's just a guarantee for me. And then I'm going to just throw an oddball out there. I'm going to go Tunisia. I'm just going to I have no idea the other three, so I'm just going to go Tunisia. Mine is France, Tunisia. Those are my two picks out of that. Josh, what about you?
Let's go with France and Australia.
Ooh.
Australia.
Aussie.
They got the tough guys that play rugby over there. So.
Yeah.
Jared, what do you got?
So definitely France. I think France has the easiest group out of all the big.
It's so easy. Yeah, it's really
like easy. They should easily get by.
I don't know. They're struggling in the Nations League though. They're last place in the Nations League.
That is true. But Mbappe, did you see him in the 22?
That's true.
France knocked it, and it's literally the same team pretty much. And then I think it'll be down between Denmark and Australia because I haven't really seen.
So sad.
And I'm gonna actually go with the Danes from Denmark. I think Denmark.
We all went different here.
Christian Eriksen had that scare in the Euros that knocked him out for a little bit, but he's back now, and I think he's the one who boosted them into the World Cup. So I think Denmark will pull out of that group with France. So
nice. So I think it's funny how we all went different there. Next one is Group E, which is an interesting one. We got Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, Japan. Jared, let's start with you on this one. Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, Japan. Who do you got?
So I believe it was in 2018. Literally the World Cup after they won, Germany didn't even make it out of the group stage, which was shocked. So in this one, don't count out Japan and Costa Rica because those are two
very good teams.
Who usually, Japan always makes it. Costa Rica is usually that fourth CONCACAF team to make it. So I'm actually going to go with Spain. They have a great young squad.
Yep.
By the time World comes around, it's Spain. And then I am actually going to go with Japan. I think Asian team to make it out of the group stage. Germany, Germany's good. Trust me, Germany's good. But after that last World Cup, I don't know if I can trust Germany out in a group stage. And so I'm taking the long ball and going Japan.
Josh, what about you?
I'm gonna go with what history says and say that Germany will right the ship.
Ooh.
And then I'll take Spain as the second team.
He's just going favorites on that one. I'm gonna go Spain and I'm gonna go Costa Rica. I think I'm going to throw Costa Rica. There's something about Costa Rica. It seems like they always they have Navas. Is he still there? Yeah. Right. The goalie.
Yes.
So they have one of the best goalies to be on the planet. So that's going to be a really interesting one. So I got Spain and Costa Rica. Then we have Group F, which is, I think, an interesting one in many ways. It's Belgium, Canada, Morocco, Croatia. Josh, we're going to start with you. Who do you got out of that group?
I don't know anything about it. Like I know about any of these other ones. Read them all off to me again. We have Morocco, Canada, and
Croatia, Belgium.
Let's go with, my gut says Croatia, Belgium. I don't know if that's
accurate. That's actually a really good choice right there.
Yeah.
Good job, Josh. We're proud of you. You're learning. I like it. So, Jared, who do you got out of this group? I think I'm interested to see what you say because I know you're pretty high on one of these teams.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think I said this last time, it was me and you, Ben. Croatia has a chance to win the whole World Cup.
Yes.
I'm not saying they're my team to win it. I think they're the underdogs to win it. So I'm definitely going to go with Croatia. However, Belgium has not looked good.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
The number one team in FIFA. They have not looked good. And Canada, let me tell you,
they're good.
The qualifying, insane. I mean, for them to beat the U.S. 3-0, that was remarkable. I was like, what the heck?
Josh is regretting his pick right now.
So Belgium's really good though. So I think it will be Belgium, Croatia. However, I'm going to choose Croatia, Canada, just because I think Canada has like a fire under their eye because this is their first World Cup in a long time too. So I think Croatia, Canada can get out of that group. But yeah, that's going to be my choice. Croatia and Canada.
I'm going to agree with Jared. I'm going Croatia and Canada. I think Croatia is just the team that it's like every year. It's like every World Cup, just don't count out Croatia. So Croatia, Canada for me. And then we have Group G, which I think Josh will at least know one of these teams. We have Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. I will start with this one. I'm going to go. This one was tough for me. I got Brazil easily. But the next team, I kind of flipped a coin. I'm going Cameroon. I'm going Brazil, Cameroon coming out of this group. I think Cameroon is one of those teams. It seems like it's always there. They're close. They're always grasping, but they never can get over. I think this is the year. Serbia, Switzerland, not really top tier teams. Honestly, this is where I wish Hungary was. If I look at Hungary right now, I think they're doing better than both these teams, if I'm honest. So I'm going Brazil, Cameroon. Josh, who do you got?
I'm going to go Brazil. They're always strong. That's who Neymar plays for, right?
Yep. You're right. Yep. Yes. Good job.
All right. I know a little bit here. And then tell me about Switzerland. Is Zlatan playing with them this year?
Oh, that's a good question. I would actually have to look that up because I am not sure.
No, you mean Zlatan? Zlatan?
Yeah. Did I say?
No, he plays for Sweden. He plays
Swedish.
for Sweden.
Yeah.
Oh, not Swiss. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that's all right. That's right.
So Brazil, and who are my other three options then?
So Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Do you go to the Serbs or do you go to the Cameroonians, or I don't know if that's what they're called, and Switzerlanders?
Let's go Cameroon. I feel like they're the smallest country out of all those.
That is true, actually. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. Underdog.
Yeah, some athletes out there. They got guys like Joel Embiid that come out of there.
Yeah.
There you go. Thinking other sports. I like it.
Yeah.
So Jared, who do you got out of this? I know we're going to go with this, but go ahead and give it to us.
If I remember right, Ben, when it was me and you, I said there could be two groups of death, and I believe this is my choices for a group of death.
Yes.
They're all pretty good teams. I don't think there's one bad team in this group. However, I think Brazil does come out on top. It's Brazil. I mean, you still have Neymar. It's Brazil. And then I think we're going to make this unanimous again, and I'm actually going to go with Cameroon because those are them and Senegal are the two African nations to be able to make it out of the group stage. So I'm actually going to go with Brazil and Cameroon.
Also, fun fact: no African team has ever won the World Cup. That's a fun fact. So then we have the last group, which is Group H. And that is Portugal. Josh knows that one. We have Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. And I will start with this one. I'm going to go with Portugal because I feel like if I go against Ronaldo, I'm asking for fate. Yeah, I'm asking for fate right there. He was the best player of all time. I'm kidding, Jared. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Jared. I'm sorry.
Is that a hot take or what?
No, we don't rant. That's only Josh when it comes to other things. So Portugal, and then I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going South Korea. I got a lot of South Korean students. I'm going to throw South Korea out there, and that's what we're going to go with. South Korea and Portugal. Josh, you're up.
I'm gonna go with exactly what you said and go Portugal and South Korea.
There
Portugal
we go.
because Ronaldo can't count that dude out, and South Korea just kind of gut feeling again
Because
with
Korean
good
food.
stuff. I don't know. Bulgogi's good stuff, I guess. But
I love it. I love it.
I got no reason behind that pick other than kind of gut.
You know what's sad is if Josh gets all of these right,
I know.
that's just gonna be
It's gonna be like the girl that doesn't know anything about March Madness.
Yeah, exactly.
She's the mascot. Yeah,
exactly. So Jared, who do you got coming out of this group?
Definitely Portugal. I mean, it's Ronaldo's last World Cup. He once won. And then, so I said 2 African nations. I think actually Ghana. I forgot about Ghana. Ghana could be the third one. However, I'm going to choose Uruguay because just of their strikers. I mean, Cavani and Suarez. Uruguay is just insane up top, and they have really good. So I think it'll be Portugal and Uruguay coming out of that group there. So, yeah.
And who do you think? And then, so we've gotten all the group stages. Awesome. Josh, give me your predicted World Cup champion that you think is going to come out on top. I just want to hear this.
This is going to be tough because I know a few players, but soccer, I feel like out of all the sports is the most team sport. Like everybody has to be good on this team. So
can't be true.
I know Brazil, like traditionally, is always very dominant. I know they have one of the better players in the world with Neymar. So I'm gonna go with Brazil. That's maybe a educated guess there, but
I swear if he gets this right, that's who I'm gonna roll with. I'm gonna go with Brazil. I don't know when the last time they won the World Cup was. It just seems like they traditionally are pretty strong.
Nice.
Yep. That's a good pick. Jared, I have a feeling I know where you're going with this one, but let's go ahead and give it to us.
Well, all right. So I want to predict my matchup. So I don't know how they'll
Of course you would. Of course, Jared. You're going to take over the show. Okay.
In the knockout tree, I don't know how they'll do the groups. I don't remember exactly how yet. However, I want to see in the World Cup final. I want to see Portugal versus Argentina. Messi, because it's both. They're probably both.
That would be good.
Settle the Ronaldo Messi debate once and for all. I like the
exactly.
Thought.
So, and it's their last World Cup.
That is true.
I mean, it's definitely Ronaldo's. Messi could play in 2026. He'll be like 37-ish. So, I mean, he could definitely still play. But it's the last time they'll both probably be in it at the same time. So, I wanted Portugal, Argentina. And just because I've always been a big Messi fan since day one, I have to choose Argentina because I think Messi deserves, as Ronaldo does, I think Messi deserves that World Cup trophy to just solidify his GOAT status. And so I really think, and how close they came in 2014 to beating Germany, I think that Argentina can pull off the winning the World Cup. So I really do want to see Argentina, Portugal. I am telling you, that would be like the dream matchup for.
That's what I want to see too. Like,
I mean,
I didn't pick either of them to win, but that's the matchup I will be rooting for to happen.
I mean, I seriously, like, if it comes down in the U.S. or in the quarterfinals and they're playing Argentina or Portugal, and I'm like, I'm sorry, U.S., but like, let's. I want to see this matchup. This is the last time we get two greats going at it, probably in the World Cup. So that would be a matchup for the ages.
Yeah, I would have to go with, for me, like, I also agree with you. I think that's a matchup. That was actually one I had in mind. But my matchup is actually, because I'm trying to pull for Africa here. I think this is the World Cup. This is what I said. I think this is the World Cup where you can see an African team go all the way to the finals, because I don't think there's a team right now in the world of soccer that's like a head and toes above everyone else. Belgium was supposed to be that, but they're not. France is not really the same they were. They're getting older. The only other team that you could say that about is, everyone said it was England. They've shown out. Let's be honest. Hungary's the best team in the world right now. Hungary's the best team in the world. I'm sorry. I just had to. But I'm actually going to go Senegal as one of my teams in a matchup versus, I'm going to throw it out here. Wait, who do I have? Oh, I wrote it down. Oh, Senegal versus Argentina. So I do have Argentina in the final, but I would like to see an Argentina-Senegal matchup. And I believe Argentina is going to win it. I'm with Jared. I just want to see Messi get that trophy. And I think Argentina is one of those teams that, like, they've kind of struggled in the last few years, and to see them kind of bounce back with a big win like that. But again, my gut was telling me go pull Senegal to win it all. And I do believe this is the year, though, that either USA could win it all or an African team. I really believe those are the two teams those are the groups that could come out.
I actually think the U.S. will have a better chance in 2026, but
that is true. That is true.
That for 4 years from now.
We'll bring you back in 4 years, Jared. No, it's going to be a crazy World Cup. It's really weird, I think, for a lot of us watching because we're used to be in the summer. It's kind of what you do. You watch in the summer. Now it's in the fall and the winter for us. So it's going to be really cool to watch. I'm excited. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have Jared come back on right before the World Cup. He'll give us his hot takes because we know Jared has hot takes, and we'll go from there. But before we finish off the episode today, we're going to talk about something that has been happening recently. As we know, Josh's favorite sport of all time is golf. I mean, just by far his favorite. I'm kidding.
Love it.
But I do want to make sure I mention before we do go off air that the Reds still do suck. And I just want to mention that real quick. I had to get that in. But we're going to talk about what is it called? The LIV, I guess. The Live.
LIV.
What are we calling it? The LI. It's a terrible name.
I don't know what it stands for.
No one knows. It's backed by rich people, so no one knows.
Hey.
LIV and the PGA Tour itself. Now, according to the president or whoever it is that runs the PGA Tour, said that anybody that competes in the LIV loses their PGA Tour membership. But the American Golf Association said that these players can still play in like the Open and stuff, which is really weird because you basically have all of these different rules, and I'm really confused. But my question is, Josh, and I want to get your take and then Jared's, do you think it's right to strip these guys of their PGA Tour card because they go and play another tournament that's not in the same card as what they play in?
I'm trying to think of like a comparison that we could do this with. Like it would be like somebody in the NBA playing with like the Chinese Basketball Association and the NBA at the same time, or like how soccer has like multiple leagues going on. Somebody playing like in Premier League and MLS. Like, have we ever had a situation where somebody's like doing both of them at the same time? Like we've had two sport athletes, at least, like Deion Sanders has played like professional baseball and football at the same time. Same with Bo Jackson. That's about the closest like realistic comparison I can think of here. But I would say like the PGA is kind of messing up here. Like I understand you want the guys to be like totally devoted to like your tour and everything, but you're also like a reason a lot of these guys are leaving is because of money. And I don't think you're making anybody wanting to come back to play in your league if they are having to be like paid less as well. So I think they might have a problem here.
And I think also it's played differently too. I believe the LIV has some different rules. Like it's like quick golf. It's like something really weird where they're like doing more, trying to fast pace it. There's like different rules. I think not like crazy different rules, but like different hole amounts and stuff like that.
Yeah, so but I've heard that kind of style is like gamify. That's something that actually some of the golf courses around here are actually starting to do, is make the game a little bit more quick and I guess fun for the player.
But and the crazy part is it's founded by Norman, who's a former PGA Tour champion, which is still funny to me that you're basically like, it's interesting because I think you have people on two sides. Like, okay, they went for the money, and then you have people like, well, why'd you leave like traditional golf? It's kind of like the baseball talk, right? Why'd you go to analytics when you can just stick with traditional baseball? So, Jared, what is your thoughts here? Do you feel like it's the right move for what the PGA Tour has done? Do you feel like the players should be given that opportunity? Or do you believe that, hey, they should stick with the PGA Tour? That's what they signed up for until their contract's done.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Josh. I think the PGA Tour is really messing up because, I mean, I'm pretty sure the former number one player in the world, Dustin Johnson, I'm actually the number one player in the world, and he left to go play in the LIV to make more money, as I mean, respectably, you know. He wasn't making as much as he wanted to in the PGA Tour. And then there's like, oh, yeah, you're not going to come back and play. I'm like, well, most people watch the PGA Tour, you know, I mean, to watch golf, but also like these big names. So if you got all these big names like Phil Mickelson and all those guys leaving to go more money team, you know, or league, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me what the PGA Tour is doing. I think they're really going to lose a lot of their own money by doing that, you know, because now they're even losing more fans. I think more fans are going to be more attracted to LIV if all these big names go to it anyway. And then if LIV gets on TV, I think more people are going to be watching that than the PGA Tour. If they just keep saying, hey, we're revoking your, PGA Tour membership. So good riddance. And it's like, well, now you're just messing up your whole system. So, I mean, I don't know. I think they're messing up big time. We'll see how far the LIV actually gets. It could totally be like the XFL and be a complete bust.
True.
But, I mean, I guess it just depends on how well the first live event goes or whatever.
Yeah, I think the LIV will do better than the XFL though, just because like they actually got talent. Like they got some of the best PGA players coming over to play in their league, and I think what ultimately attracts fans to any league is the talent. Like if the product is going to be good.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be crazy. I'm kind of in the middle. I understand why guys leave, but I'm also like a traditionalist in a lot of senses where I'm like, hey, you play the old school way of like, hey, stick with what you're doing. But again, the money is there when you have Saudi Arabian the royalty basically backing it up. I mean, it's going to be in the millions and billions of dollars. It's going to be over there. I mean, I saw someone finish like in 20th place and they got over $100,000. It's like, what? Like you're not even in the top 10, dude. Like, why are you getting that much money? It's ridiculous. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the PGA Tour will end up dropping this whole thing. I think they're gonna be like, hey, we're sorry. Would you still like to come play? Because the Masters this year is basically featuring no one.
Rory McIlroy and everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm fascinated to see what's gonna happen with that and everything like that. But yeah. Anyways, that is today's episode, this week's episode. Jared, thank you so much for jumping on with Josh and I. We appreciate having another thing. As we all know that, just the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl. Congrats.
Yes,
That's all I'm going to say. Because you didn't win it, you made it. That's all I'm going to say.
At least we made it.
Oh, boy. Yep, here we go. This is why we didn't talk about the NFL, guys, this week. Jared will obviously be on in future episodes throughout the year as we get to soccer, as we get to the NFL and the NCAA and all these different things. Jared will be coming on as our correspondent from West Liberty, Ohio, out in the cornfields. As Josh and I continue to ramble and rant about stupid things, Jared is doing his research in his bunker. No, I don't know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you do love the episode of the podcast, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell on YouTube. You can check out all of our last episodes. You can check out Josh's rant from last week. It's pretty great. Honestly, it's awesome. That's why it was titled that. And by the way, this is the first week I think we haven't had really a rant, so I'm kind of glad we've moved on. Not really, but we tried. But if you want to check us out on social media, then go ahead and go to the @baseline.podcast where you can see our Instagram page where Josh and I will posting stories of different events that are happening, polls and such like that. We'll also be posting different clips. I've got a clip of the rant that will be coming out here actually probably the next couple of days. So you get to watch that on loop. Because we all want to see that on loop. And then we'll also have different things like for when Jared might have something he might need to add as a guest. So we might put that on there too. So there'll be a lot of things going to that. If you like to, see us do a TikTok, I don't know. You just let us know. That's all that matters. And you can all check out Jared and Josh. Their links will be below. So you can check out Josh's YouTube channel and Jared's, both his, no, I'm only putting your one page, Jared. I'm not putting your second Instagram page. He has a zoo page, Josh. He makes do stuff. It's fascinating. But yeah, you can check all that out down below. Make sure you check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And as always, enjoy your week. Go watch some sports. And until next time, we'll see ya.